Hey everybody, it's the OMAD Dad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that is dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating one meal a day. Today I want to talk about beliefs and how your beliefs will help or hinder your success and your results on your OMAD plan or really in anything in life. After all, I've talked about this on other videos. Winning in the short term and even the long term on this journey is partially a psychological game. There are going to be days when you are hungry. There are going to be days when you are facing temptation from foods that smell good or from family outings or friends that are trying to get you to go out and break your fast or eat at a time when it's not your window. So it takes very, I wouldn't say strong will, but there is a psychological aspect to this that I'd like to delve into, at least spend a few videos on and talk about. And so today I want to talk about your beliefs because they play a major role in this whole game and a major role in whether or not you're going to be successful. About 8 years ago, I got involved with this meditation program. I was in a very bad place, very dark place. I was very unsuccessful in life. I was working at a really low paying, shitty job that I hated. It was going nowhere, and I was about to be laid off. I had not had a really good relationship in my life. I was living with my parents. I was always broke, driving a beat up car. Yeah, I was pretty much a loser in life. And I got involved with this meditation program that I found online. And the gentleman, some of you may know him or may not. His name was Bill Harris, that ran the company that did that. Had been a really experienced meditator and offered this sort of self-improvement program. And so I said, well, what do I have to lose? And it ended up really changing my life. And I'm only mentioning this because of the context of the video, and I'm going to, come around and not as a promotion for the company, but just to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory on this. His whole approach was not taking meditation in religious terms or saying that you need to meditate to be better at your religion, but it was his belief that everybody in life wanted to be happy, peaceful, and successful at what they did. And so he taught meditation because it really did wonders. Powerful meditation did wonders for his life. And then when you take that meditation and you get the increased awareness from that, from years of doing that, and apply it to areas of your life that are working or even aren't working, and it's a way to improve your life, sort of self-improvement. He taught that this was how you can really become happy, peaceful, and successful in the world, and that you apply these not as some sort of religious practice, but that is a self-improvement practice, so that you can get the things and experience the things that you want in life. And so I bit, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll do this. And it was a little pricey at the time. It still is, but what happened was it completely changed my life and my perspective on a lot of things. And as a result, now I'm married. I have 2 children. I have a really good paying job. I have an actual career. My wife and I, we own a home. We have 2 vehicles. We have money in the bank. We go on vacations. I'm not saying I've lost weight and my health has drastically improved. I'm not saying all of this sort of thing happens overnight and my results might be a little bit better than some other people, but a lot of that had to do with the lessons that this gentleman, who I'm calling a mentor, instilled on me. And I have all of the correspondence. I've saved all of that from him, and it's volumes of stuff that is just so like life-changing for me. And unfortunately, he passed away from cancer last May. And everybody that knew him was just shocked, and it's just really sad. He was an amazing guy. Did a lot for charity as well. But he had this wealth of knowledge about self-improvement and about really getting the results that you want to see. Not that rah, Tony Robbins make you feel good at a seminar bullshit, and then you go out and then you go into the world and go, oh, wait, that's right, I don't know how to do anything. And then you don't get any results a week later and you get bummed. he had some really lasting effect on me and how I looked at the world. So today, he did this thing. I want to focus on his lessons on beliefs, because he used to do these exercises that would get you to think, and it would be, just an increase in it would increase your awareness. It would really change your perspective on things. And so what he would do is he would have us make a list, and he said, I want you to write down all of the things that you believe about yourself, about people, and the world in general. And there's no right or wrong here, and you're not trying to write answers that will impress someone or trying to get the right answer, because there's no right or wrong answer. You want to be as truthful with yourself as possible. And it was really eye-opening to me. And as I've said before about my post about goals, when you write it on paper, it's in black and white in front of you. I mean, there is no denying. It's right there. It is powerful. And you get to find out what you really believe. And it brings awareness to these aspects of your life. I mean, after all, most of our beliefs come from our early interactions with authority figures, our parents, our teachers, early experiences, whether or not we're in any particular religious groups or not, or any other, private activity groups. And so when we get a lot of these beliefs about ourselves, about the world and life in general, at a time when we don't have enough experience to really judge whether these are truly accurate or resourceful beliefs or even worth having. And they just become ingrained in us. And we may not even be aware on a subconscious level of how they are altering and affecting our day-to-day life. So I thought it was really, really interesting to write all of that stuff down and to really see what I believed. I was actually shocked. And he'd say, it's really not about whether your belief about anything is true. There's an old saying, everything is true to the person who believes it. It's about whether or not the belief is resourceful. And he'd give the example about his love life, which was actually pretty similar to mine at the time. He would say that if you really believed that no one will ever love me, whether or not that's true is not the way to analyze that belief and to carry it around. It's about whether it's resourceful or not. It's not, if you want to have a lasting relationship, it's not resourceful to believe that you're never going to have a lasting relationship, because it's going to become this self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's the same thing with your health. If you believe that OMAD or, cutting back on your portion sizes or getting a little bit of exercise here and there, it's just too hard, or if it's not worth it, then you can't really rack your brain and get pissed at yourself for not achieving the results that you want to achieve in life. If you have those types of beliefs that I'll never be able to do this, then you're going to make it become true. And he often said that there are 3 ways that we make these beliefs come true in our lives. 1, you unconsciously attract people or situations to help prove that these beliefs are true. Again, he always gave example of his love life. He said, he could spot somebody like a tractor beam a mile away who would come into his life, and they'd get into a relationship, and sure enough, the same problems. It was like he was dating the same woman over and over again, which kind of resonated with me at the time, because I was going on a series of horrible dates before I ended up meeting my wife. Number 2, he'd say you interpret information wrong to help prove that you're true. Excuse me. So in other words, if you asked someone out on a date and they said no, and you thought, well, see, I knew it. I'm just unlovable. Nobody's going to love me, or nobody's going to want me. Maybe you're interpreting that information wrong, in the sense that maybe that person's already in a relationship, or maybe you're just not that person's type. There may be maybe the timing is not right. Either way, you've interpreted the information wrong, and you're interpreting and twisting it around in a way to make what your preconceived beliefs are, so you can fit it into that mold. And 3, you act in an unconscious way to finally make these beliefs come true. So in other words, he would and he wasn't even aware of this. He would act in a way to where people finally said, you know what, you're right, I don't love you, I don't want to be around you. And so with all of that, he got to be right about his beliefs, that no one will ever love him, at least for that time. And so then he said something really powerful. He said, wouldn't you rather be happy instead of right? And that was just like a punch in the face to me, or the gut, really. That just really resonated to me. Like, yeah, you're right. I'd rather be happy instead of right. And so you could see the same thing as we apply this to OMAD. We sometimes unconsciously attract people and situations that will help us prove, excuse me, about what we believe about our health and about weight loss. People who are unsuccessful at weight loss, or people who don't try at all, who say, "Oh, come on, just forget about it. Come on, let's have a couple of donuts. Let's go out for a beer tonight." And here you are, consciously trying and trying, and you don't, for whatever reason, say, "No, thank you. I don't want to be. I'm trying to maintain my laser beam like focus on my goals," and this way here you end up unconsciously breaking that. You break that pattern, and you're unconsciously adding to your unsuccess. You're interpreting information wrong. That, for example, here's a classic example. I hear a lot from people that'll say, "Well, I've been doing OMAD religiously all week, and I didn't lose any weight." Well, often you'll find out that they're using a non-digital scale or a smart scale. They're not using a smart scale, and so they're looking at their overall weight, when really, if you get them on a smart scale and you look at the numbers, they've gone down a pound on fat and they've put on a pound of lean muscle mass because they were exercising or doing whatever. And so it canceled itself out. You're moving in the right direction, but you're looking at something else, so you're interpreting the information wrong, and you're thinking that you're just proving your subconscious belief of, "I can't be successful at this." I hope that makes sense. And then finally, you act in an unconscious way you act in an unconscious way to make your belief come true. Maybe you've always just kind of snacked whenever somebody brought something over. Maybe you were, the type where you have a big office and there's always somebody bringing in a donut, and you're just used to walking in and grabbing a donut and you don't even think about it. I remember when I first early on messed around with fasting every now and then. I would do that. I really became aware of how many times I would walk around in the restaurant or in a kitchen and just mindlessly snack on things and just grab things and just put things in my mouth and start eating. And that will contribute to your failure on this as well. So again, the point to remember about this is you'd rather be happy instead of proving your beliefs right. So you really do need to spend some, sorry, I've got notes here. You really do need to spend some time and examine your beliefs. I really urge you to take some time and write down what you really believe about yourself, about the world, about people in general, and look at it. And even if you don't want to, tackle on the world and what you believe about the world and about people around you, focus on what you believe about your health, about yourself, about your success, about your worth, and write it down on a piece of paper and take a look at it and see if any of those beliefs are unresourceful. Because if that's the case, then that is where your sabotage is coming in. That is where your unsuccess, that is the stumbling block that will get you. And when you need to really pull in deep, and when you're having a hard day, there's a lot of temptation around you. Again, this is a psychological game, at least in part. And you need to be able to pull from inside of you, and you need to know, is there something that I'm doing, at least unconsciously, to hinder my results? It's not to put blame on yourself. You want to become aware of it so that you can fix it and so that you can get the results that you want in life. And before I go today, I want to end with another quote that he gave me, that another just amazingly powerful quote. He used to say, for every result that you want in life, there's a certain way of thinking and acting that will get it for you. You just have to find it and be willing to adopt it. And I hope that you have found OMAD, that it is for you, and that you are willing to adopt it, and that you have adopted it. Because if you give it a chance and you give it some time, it will completely change your life, your perspective, and I know that you will have some lasting results, while it not being too invasive and too much of a drag on your personal life, and not being able to enjoy the things and situations and foods that you love in your every day. So that is my spiel on beliefs for today. I hope you got something of value out of this. I hope you enjoyed the video. We've got plenty more to come, so keep tuned and post it onto the channel. I'll be posting more pretty soon. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a very happy OMAD, and I will see you very soon.